Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Pallas in the 12th house in a natal chart. Now, Pallas in astrology can be connected with how one may resolve dilemmas or issues. And given that this is the 12th house, people that have this placement may do this better when they're in solitude, seclusion, isolation, when they find that little desolate, quiet spot. Perhaps maybe through introspection, just being by themselves, maybe through meditation. That might be some ways that this person, as far as where they're going to do this, and this might be, some of the ways they may work on those issues, but also too. This could also be through the 12th house is connected with the metaphysical and also spirituality. So it could be through those ways to the metaphysical, of course, which could include astrology. The 12th house is also associated with could be with an aunt or an uncle as well. So those are some ways this person may do this, especially like if you have this like an Aquarius or Pisces or even Scorpio. Scorpio can be connected with the occult, which includes astrology. This could be ways where this person may try to resolve these issues that they have. But anyway, could also be now looking at this as well. Now, Pallas in astrology can be connected with the perceived connection that one may have with their dad or father. Now, given we're talking about the 12th house, this could be one that may be rather nebulous or unclear. There may be certain restrictions and limitations associated with it, and it might be tied into secret sorrows as well. It might be something, given that the 12th house could be what's hidden, and maybe something that you don't really feel like really sharing with others for whatever reason, whether the connection was beneficial or it was to your detriment to some degree, or it is beneficial, I should say, and auspicious as well, depending whether it's past or present. So anyway, well, another thing too is Pallas in astrology can also be associated with legalities and legal issues. And since we're talking about the 12th house, this can involve those that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the oppressed, the hungry, the impoverished, the homeless. It might be something where it could be with people that are mentally ill or have some mental disability, people that are connected with some kind of restrictions, and they might even be people that turn out to be hidden adversaries, of people that were actually your friends, or that posed as your friends but really unveiled later on as not being such, or people that anonymously, for example, may be doing things and under a different identity, like such as using a fake name online, such as slander. Those are some things, ways that things you might be dealing with as far as legal issues may go. But Pallas in astrology can also be associated with disputes. So you may have contentious situations with those that are in a less fortunate situation than yourself, again, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, or the hungry. It could be with an aunt or an uncle. It could be over spiritual issues or matters pertaining to the metaphysical, which could include astrology. You might have some heated battles over, say, the veracity and validity of the subject. As an example, you might be in legal issues with pharmaceutical companies. It could be, such as, for example, claiming that their drug will have certain effectiveness and it didn't. It could be that, or maybe getting the wrong, prescription or what have you, when it was, you got something else in place of what you were supposed to get. It might be also dealing with legal issues. They might be ones that are hidden. Again, the 12th house is about restrictions, limitations, and it can be connected with what's hidden. So these can be issues that you might actually it could be what you'd solve very privately and don't really divulge to too many people. You might be embroiled in certain legal situations or outcomes of legal situations that are very secretive. It could be like undisclosed amount of money you might get in some kind of lawsuit, as an example. Now, Pallas in astrology can also be associated with the attention on concepts Now, given we're talking about the 12th house, this could be associated with concepts and ideas associated with the paranormal, the metaphysical, which includes astrology, just the general unseen, things that are confounding. It could be mysteries. It could be it could be on concepts and ideas that are associated with others that are in a less fortunate situation than yourself, such as, again, the impoverished, the homeless, the hungry, the oppressed, the underprivileged. So those are some ways that this can manifest and pan out. And also on, it could be on ideas that are associated with people that are mentally ill, and these are that are suffering from some kind of mental disability or have some strong limitation or restriction in their life. So anyway, well, Pallas in astrology can also be associated with debilitations that may be attributed to an immune system that may be diminished or depleted. And given that this is the 12th house, it might drive you, if you have anything going on, it might drive you figuratively crazy. It might be really tied in to being in a desolate spot or in isolation and solitude, seclusion, because like say, if you have some kind of issue going on, like say for example, you have you have this in Gemini in your 12th house in your natal chart, and Gemini can be connected with mobility and the arms and the hands, the fingers, and what it could do. I mean, as an example, this could hamper you in terms of your ability to do things outdoors, and it could be tied into secret sorrows as well, given that we're talking about the 12th house. And in these issues, maybe you might console an aunt or an uncle as far as these issues may go. And anyway, in some cases, it might even put you in a situation when you're in a very less fortunate situation, than others in a very restricted or limited situation. So whether it's making money or what have you. Now, the next thing up as far as Pallas goes, art. Pallas can be connected with art, and as far as astrology, this could be somebody that might do their best artwork, whether it could be painting, drawing, sculpting, or what have you, in solitude or seclusion. It might be somebody that might provide artwork for people that are confined to hospitals or some kind of mental institution, or even it might be somebody that maybe goes by some of their dreams and replicates that artwork that they see in their dreams, painting things that they see in their dreams. It could also be at this time as well. It could be at a time where this could be, if you're in a situation, of course, that where you're kind of confined and you can't really go anywhere. If you have certain strong physical limitations in isolated cases, this could be that thing that, again, you might be really enamored with doing when you're by yourself in privacy. So anyway, and it might even be where you might even, your artwork might be connected, maybe through prisoners, or sharing it with these people as well, or it might be tied in to anything 12th house related. It could be photography. 12th house could be connected with photography. You might it could be someone that takes pictures and maybe paints what they see through photography, or maybe there could be an interest in even artwork connected with spirituality or the metaphysical, which includes astrology. So anyway, well, Pallas in astrology can also be associated with the tough choices one may make that are in conjunction with one's relationships that are male, whether it may be through a significant other, a romantic partner that may be a male, or simply a male that plays a dominant role in your life scheme. Now, this could be done where, it might be tied in with one's secret sorrows, or it could even be where maybe you're suspicious one might be a hidden adversary or hidden enemy, and you might discard that person as a friend or a companion in your life because of that, and make a choice with somebody else due to that. These matters may be done very privately, done when you're by yourself. Really, it can also be connected with. I mean, the 12th house is rules imprisonment. So if it's something where you find out, well, somebody's got, some kind of criminal, especially a very extensive criminal background, it could be decisions might be made based on that. So those are some ways this could manifest and pan out. In some cases, could people be listening to that have displacement be tied in to their dreams and what they believe through maybe a premonition in some isolated cases? Well, that could be possible because, I mean, since we are talking about the 12th house, if this is a person especially that has a lot of like intuitive indicators in their chart, a water dominant chart as an example. But anyway, well, also, Pallas in astrology could be connected with a strategy one may use or employ to traverse uncharted territory. And given that this is the 12th house, this may be done. It could be where if you're a person, especially if you're a very introverted person and your chart has indicators for this, it might be a place where you'd like to find, something place desolate or isolate yourself to some degree from a lot of people. It could be where you find a place that's very private. It might be tied into maybe being connected more with an aunt or an uncle, or maybe a situation where you can be close to those that are less fortunate than yourself, such as, again, the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, or the hungry. And especially, like, say if you have this like an Aquarius or Pisces, there could be a lot of altruism connected with this energy as well. Pisces could be very compassionate and altruistic, and Aquarius, of course, could be very selfless and have humanitarian instincts. So and also, too, Pallas in astrology can be associated with patterns. So this could be somebody that could be very proficient at understanding the patterns of those less fortunate than oneself. It could be people that understanding patterns connected with others that are mentally ill or that have faced an imprisonment or are incarcerated or had previously been, and also matters that are connected with solitude and seclusion and those that may isolate themselves from others. So anyway, people, and also one last thing, Pallas can also be associated with the kidneys. So if you're talking about the 12th house, this could be something if you have a kidney issue, and say if it's in Taurus, for example, it might be a very persistent one. And if it's in the 12th house, then it could be something that could be more restricting to you than the average person. It might be more problematic and might be tied into even secret sorrows and be more limiting and be a stronger debilitation than the average person in terms of it maybe limiting you to doing certain things. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.